Day 17. The forensic result investigators had been waiting for finally arrived. The DNA taken from the glove discovered 2 miles from the primary scene was run through the National CODIS database today. The result was 0. No hits. But that failure wasn't the most disturbing detail to emerge from Pima County. The real complication isn't what they didn't find outside the house, it's what they are struggling to extract from inside it. We are now more than 2 weeks into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie from Tucson, Arizona. The timeline has compressed, but the evidentiary picture has fractured. Official statements and confirmed reports paint a picture of an investigation fighting battles on both physical and digital fronts. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos has now confirmed what was long suspected. There were multiple Nest cameras installed at the Guthrie residence. The existence of these devices should have provided an immediate timeline of the abduction. Instead, they have provided a technical dead end. Investigators have admitted that video footage from inside the home currently cannot be extracted. The specific technical barriers, whether due to subscription lapses or data overwriting cycles, remain opaque. Google has been contacted, but the data remains locked. While the digital eyes inside the house were blind, the physical scene outside was littered with items that made no initial sense. The immediate aftermath of the disappearance was marked by confusing physical artifacts left on the property. Reports focused intensely on a bright blue shirt discovered on Nancy Guthrie's front walk, located near confirmed blood drops on the doorstep. The presence of the garment seemed inexplicable. Investigators have now clarified its origin. The shirt did not belong to the perpetrator, nor to the victim. It belonged to the United States Border Patrol. Specifically, it was equipment used by an elite BORTAC K-9 team brought in to conduct scent tracking on the night Nancy vanished. The item was used during the initial K-9 deployment, left behind on the walkway, and only retrieved by agents days later. It wasn't the only piece of bureaucratic debris left at the crime scene. A business card was also discovered stuffed into the door of the residence. It was from Arizona's Adult Protective Services. Sheriff Nanos confirmed that a neighbor contacted APS on the day Nancy was reported missing. An agent was dispatched to check on her welfare. Finding no one home, the agent left their card in the door so that Nancy, an abducted woman, could contact them regarding services upon her return. These elements introduced chaos into the initial crime scene assessment. But while these physical mysteries were being resolved, a far more sophisticated silent search was already underway overhead. Since February 3rd, unnoticed by most observers, helicopters and ground teams in the area have been deploying specialized technology provided by Parsons Corporation. They aren't just looking for a visual confirmation of a person or a vehicle. They are hunting for an electronic signature that should not be silent. They are tracking Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker. The technology known as BlueFly is designed to detect Bluetooth advertisements and Wi-Fi signals in challenging terrain. A device like a pacemaker emits a signal, an advertisement, attempting to connect with monitoring equipment. The BlueFly tech can detect these handshakes from altitudes of 800 to 1,000 feet, creating heat maps of electronic signals across vast swaths of the desert landscape. If the device is functioning, it is broadcasting. While this high-altitude digital hunt continues, a parallel forensic investigation is focused on the perpetrator's logistics. The FBI release of the doorbell video highlighted specific attire, a backpack, a balaclava, and a distinct gun holster. Investigators are actively coordinating with Walmart corporate management. The working theory is one of cluster purchasing. The hypothesis suggests the suspect may have purchased the items, including the backpack and the $10 holster, in a single transaction. By isolating stock-keeping units, SKUs, and cross-referencing transaction timestamps, agents hope to pinpoint the purchase and retrieve surveillance footage of the buyer at the point of sale. It is a method that relies on the suspect's digital retail footprint preceding their physical crime. The retail forensic path is promising, but methodical. The biological forensic path, however, delivered a significant shock today. The glove found 2 miles away was pinned as a critical piece of evidence. It was sent to a Florida lab, processed, and submitted to CODIS this morning. The official statement from the Sheriff's Department was blunt. There were no DNA hits. But buried in that admission of failure was a far more unsettling reality. The glove is not the only biological evidence. There is other DNA. Unknown male DNA has been isolated from inside Nancy Guthrie's own home, and that critical evidence, placed directly at the primary crime scene, has not yet been run through the database. The sheriff's department stated only that this additional DNA from the residents is also being analyzed and that the process takes time. They have indicated that investigative genetic genealogy remains a potential avenue if direct database matches fail. While the laboratory analysis stalls on the most critical samples, the physical dragnet in Tucson has intensified significantly. FBI agents have been confirmed inside multiple local gun shops. They are carrying a list of approximately 40 names, accompanied by photographs. Witness account compression. One shop source described the photos to reporters, noting that the facial structure visible under the perpetrator's mask in the video appeared to match the individuals in the Bureau's photographs. Agents are cross-referencing these 40 individuals against sales records for recent firearm purchases. This activity follows a spike in operational tempo last week. On Friday, February 13th, investigators executed 2 separate search warrants simultaneously. One was served at the Guthrie home. The second was executed on a silver Range Rover located in a nearby restaurant parking lot. A man at that location was detained in handcuffs, questioned by authorities, and subsequently released. No arrests were made following that operation. The status of those closest to the center of the investigation also shifted today. After previously stating definitively that the Guthrie family, siblings, and spouses were cleared, Sheriff Nanos issued a revised statement today saying, "At this point in the investigation, the Guthrie family has not been identified as suspects." When pressed on this change in language, the FBI declined to comment. The shifting narrative and revised statements have created audible friction between Pima County leadership and observers tracking the case. Sheriff Nanos has publicly disputed media reports highlighting alleged procedural missteps, including delays in FBI integration and initial crime scene management issues. The pressure on the investigation is now quantifiable. Data released by the Pima County Sheriff's Department shows that between February 1st and February 16th, their 911 communications center processed over 28,500 calls, a massive increase over the same period last year. Simultaneously, the FBI's National Threat Operations Center has received more than 18,000 tips specifically related to the Nancy Guthrie case since the start of the month. Yet, 17 days into this massive influx of information, there are no named suspects. The financial pressure on the perpetrator is also being escalated. An attorney based in Milwaukee, Michael Huppy, has added $100,000 to the existing FBI reward. The total capital now available for information leading to an arrest and conviction stands at $200,000. The activity around the Guthrie residence remains constant, though its purpose is often unclear. On Tuesday afternoon, 2 unidentified men carrying a large legal-style briefcase were permitted entry to the grounds by deputies. Reports also confirmed investigators were examining cameras and lighting at a neighboring property, utilizing ladders to access the equipment. The scene is active, but the answers are static. The investigation appears to be pivoting toward the slowest tracking methods available: complex genetic genealogy and corporate transaction records from major retailers. The glove provided nothing. The internal Nest cameras have provided nothing. The question that now hangs over the entire case is what the unknown male DNA found inside the house will reveal when it is finally permitted to enter the system.